All right. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is AVIOT Sunday Brew, an offshoot, another derivative, another side of the AVIOT podcast, where your co hosts, Jay Stokes, which is me, and Jay Random, are here to interact with the audience live. We're here to answer any questions or just interact with you, talk with you with any comments you have, and just shoot the breeze. What's going on, Jay Random?
Oh man, nothing, chilling. Sunday. You know how we do on Sundays. Wake
Yeah.
up, and now what? Daylight savings. So I'm tired. My body hasn't adjusted, but it takes a while for it to adjust. I think a lot of people it takes a while.
But we gained an hour, right?
Yeah, we gained an hour, but it's still But my body is on the other hour, right? That I
Okay.
lost.
Uh,
So then I got to remember to change the clocks in my house because my clocks are still shooting. I mean, still saying an hour ahead.
oh, they don't
So.
automatically. They don't automatically.
Well, the microwave, the stove, those
Uh,
clocks, and also your actual digital ones. I have a digital clock that I use for my phone to charge it. So the ones you gotta tell, manually adjust. Those are the ones that haven't. But you want to hear something funny? Yesterday I was driving in my car, and my car for a good hour, uh, it messed up. It was actually showing an hour behind yesterday. Then
oh,
I
really?
turned the car off, and then I turned it back on, and it adjusted itself. It was weird.
Interesting. Was that the
I know,
electric?
right? It did it a day early. It had me go check to see when the heck with daylight saving. I thought it was like Saturday or Sunday morning,
Mhm.
and it was. That's why I was like, "What the hell? Like, why is my car an hour behind?"
Was that the electric one or the gas one?
I don't have an electric one yet. It's the gas one. That's why I
Okay.
was like, "Wait, I got an electric car? Like, what the?"
Shit.
Soon, soon, soon. That's why I was. That's why. Look. I was paused. I was like, I got an electric car. Somebody ain't tell me about. I'm out of here.
All
I'm
right.
doing. Look, I'm doing the show in the car.
My bad. I'm on the future. Uh
Future. What? Yo. You know what? But when I get my electric car,
huh.
I will be doing. I'm gonna try to do the show in the car.
Okay. I'm interested to see that. I'm
Me
very
too.
yes. I'll tell you one thing. I was
What's up?
just online. My boy Joel Embiid of my 76ers, my Philly 70.
Yeah.
You saw he shoved reporter Marcus Hayes.
I didn't see it. I heard.
Yes. So basically, do you know why he did that?
They said something about. I guess the reporter said something about his brother. I didn't even know he even had a brother.
Yeah, so Joel Embiid's brother passed away, and he also has a son that he reportedly named after his brother. And so the reporter was pretty much saying, for lack of better words, that because of Joel Embiid's lack of playing ability, he is disappointing his dead brother and his son. And so
Oh,
Joel was like, "Don't you ever talk about my son or my brother again, or it's going to be much worse for you." But he shoved them, and there's an investigation looking into that. I think it was warranted. My thing is, you don't write a column like that. You don't know how somebody agrees, and if you're going to do something like that, then be prepared for the consequences.
correct. Correct. And that's the problem with reporters. Sometimes they get out of line, and then they're surprised with your reaction. You can never tell somebody how to react, right? And for him to say that you're doing a disservice to your dead brother and your son over a basketball game. I mean,
Correct.
granted, I understand, a lot of fans they're really invested, but sometimes you got to check yourself as a fan and be like, why am I so invested in this? I can like a game, I can like a team, I can like a player, but at the end of the day, you still have to live your life.
That's
You
right.
know?
And just a quick pause. Esmeralda Lopez, hello. How are you doing?
Yes, yes.
TRE, who are you voting for? Who are you voting for, TRUMP? Who are you voting for? Me and J Random already cast our votes. Who are you voting for?
Oh yeah, definitely. I cast my vote last week.
Yeah, let us know who you're voting for. You're voting for Trump? Okay.
Hey,
That's
hey, listen.
what
Everybody will get out and vote. That's
what
all we can say.
what's your reason for voting for Trump?
Oh, you voting for Obama?
Obama's not in.
That's why I'm like, well, you voted for the wrong person.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you very much. Who looks amazing? Me and J Random. J Random. I know J Random's looking good. The gray hair.
Nah, it gotta be Jay Stokes with the dreads.
Nah,
See, my hair can't grow. That's why I cut it low.
We need to secure border. Oh, both. Thank you, Ethan. We need to secure the border. Okay. We need to secure the border. Are there any other reasons why you'll be voting for Trump other than securing the
Because
securing the border? Because there's a lot of other things that he's running on.
yeah, and I think when he was president, he didn't secure the border. So what? He's going to do it now. I mean, it's not as easy as people think it is to secure a border.
Right, right. We're actually going to get into a little bit of political talk, even though we always say we're not going to, a little later on in today's Sunday Brew episode. But just sticking to sports, I don't know if you heard during the broadcast when the Sacramento Kings are playing the Toronto Raptors,
Ooh,
Aubrey
yes,
Drake Graham himself said that if the Toronto Raptors put up a banner for DeMar DeRozan, he's going to go up there himself and pull it down. So
yes.
what are your thoughts on Aubrey still seemingly being salty from his beef with Kendrick? Because the only reason he would have cause to say that is because DeMar DeRozan was in the Not Like Us music video, and he was also at the Pop Out concert.
Correct. So, to be honest, I think Drake is just a petty loser, right? He's a sore loser, number one. And I just want to just answer one of the replies. So to everyone that's voting for Trump, just remember in 2018 to 2025, we are still under Trump taxes. So for anyone who's saying, we got to lower our taxes, yeah, 2025, it will expire. But from 2018 to 2025, we are still under Trump tax. So for anyone saying my taxes are high and I'm voting for Trump, well, good luck. Because if he becomes president again, your taxes will be high again for another some odd years. Just keep that in mind. Everyone just needs to do their research before they scream, because that's what I'm hearing a lot. Everyone's screaming taxes, taxes. We're still under we're still under Trump taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Went into effect 2018 and it expires in 2025. So I just need people to do their research. I know the Democrats are in House, right? I know they're in power now, but the taxes that we're under is Trump taxes, and it expires in January. So, now as far as food, yeah, that's probably something different. Yes, I agree. I go grocery shopping and food prices are high, but I don't know who to blame. But when it comes to taxes, I know who to blame. So now back to what you were saying. I think Drake knows that at the end of the day, he can stare him down all he wants to, meaning DeMar DeRozan.
Because he was staring at him in the game,
Yeah,
just trying to down like that's going to do
exactly. But he knows at the end of the day, he can never ever do anything because, as far as I know, he, meaning Rosen, right? He
DeRozan.
has he has what? He leads the Raptors in the most points scored. I mean, he
DeMar
has a
is going to get his number retired in Toronto.
yeah,
If Vince Carter got
yeah,
his retired, DeMar DeRozan is going to get his number retired in Toronto.
exactly. So I'm sorry. All I was gonna say. So I think once again, uh, Aubrey is just a sore loser, and he has to understand that it's over. We got to move on. And all this mean mugging, doing all this, staring people down, does nothing
Ain't this boy
to
30?
me.
This boy 38, right?
Yeah, he just turned 38. Hold on for a second. He just turned 38.
So how you 38 and you acting so immature like this?
With your bodyguard, that doesn't do anything. Keep that in mind. Chubs don't crash out on nobody. So I mean, keep that in mind. Ask Puffy.
We can't asking this boy, on lockdown right now.
Oh yeah, Puffy won't know. Yeah, that is true. But Chubs don't crash out. So
Speaking of,
um,
oh, did he have more to say?
no, all I was gonna say was so it's just funny because once again, it's just showing once again how Kendrick won the battle, and we're over it. We just want to hear new music, and I know we're gonna segue into music, so I'll stop because I was about to segue into something. You was gonna say something.
Yeah,
Yes, I hold on.
speaking of being locked up, you see that Young Thug, he's been released from his sentence and he is going to be serving, I think, reportedly 15 years probation. And within those
Yes.
15 years, he has to give, I think 4 lectures a year on
Mhm.
why gang activity is bad, why drug use is bad, and he also cannot promote drug use or gang activity in his music. He can't go back to the metro Atlanta area unless it's for funerals, for health condition,
For 10 years.
for 10 years. And he also cannot communicate with anybody that is affiliated with gang activity, but he
Correct.
can communicate with Gunna and his brother.
Yes. So, that's tough because,
Yeah. One second.
you
Hi,
know,
how you doing?
oh yeah. How you
Danielle,
doing?
honey, good, good, good that you voted. Good that you voted.
Yes. Everybody go out and vote, regardless who you're voting for. Just go out and vote. I mean, it's simple. It's a simple process. I mean, as long as you don't have knuckleheads, yelling or whatever the case may be, it's a simple process.
All
I
right.
live in a red state, and it was simple. But
Yeah.
yes, so I feel like with Doug, 15 years probation is obsessive, but I mean, the problem with probation is at any point you could go back if you mess up. So you could go back 14 years and a half.
Listen,
Uh,
unpopular
Yeah.
opinion, but I don't think it's excessive
hmm
because my thing is you were promoting gang activity and drug use.
hmm
And I do think that we should set an example for why this is not good and why
hmm
this should not continue. Just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah, but reason why I say it's obsessive because they gave him 15 years, but he never pleaded. No one pleaded to the murder. The 15 years. So this is how it worked.
Mhm,
So behind the scenes, the prosecutor they offered him 15 years along with a worse stipulations. Because because they tried to freeze his assets and all this stuff, right?
mhm,
And then when he turned it down in front of the judge, they tried to give him 45 years. 25, no, 20, 20 served in jail, another 15 probation. But that was all because of the murder. This is why I say so excessive is probably the wrong word. You're right. He put himself in this predicament.
correct.
So excessive is probably the wrong word, but the 15 years was
Hold on.
tied to the murder that hello?
Daniel, got Young Thug. Young Thug, he just got released from his
Oh,
sentence,
sorry about that.
served
Yes.
15 years
Yeah.
probation. That's what we're talking about. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah, so I mean, the 15 years was tied to the murder. I thought so, but anyway, you put it. Listen, you do the crime, you got to do the time. The man wanted out, so he pleaded because he must have known it wasn't even worth trying to fight this case because it
Yeah,
could have gone either way.
you're right. And just for TUMP, what's your opinion on Vice President Kamala? Yeah, you did ask who we voted for. We just skirted by that just
Sorry
because
about that. Yes.
we didn't want to get into that. So we wanted to ask your opinion. But as far as our opinion, I'll speak for myself with
Mhm.
Kamala Harris. I have been critical of her in the past. I have. I've actually written an article criticizing her. I've been critical of people from both major parties, both Republican and the Democratic Party. I'm more so critical just because of just her dealings with police, especially when it comes to Black people and other marginalized groups that are negatively impacted by law enforcement. However, she has been a progressive politician, so she does have areas on her track record which is good, and I do think that she will I think that she's fit for the job. I was saying it on our last podcast episode, which you also check out, the AVIOT podcast episode that Jay Random and I are on. I said, take political parties aside, like move that out the equation, take away gender, take away race. If you look at both candidates, both Trump and Harris, and you look at their resumes, you'll see that Harris's resume is substantially better than Trump's resume. So I think that's how we should look at these candidates instead of being so blinded by, oh, one's a Republican, one's a Democrat, one is a woman, one is a man, one is Black and Indian, the other one is white, right? We should stop looking at that and we should just look at their track record. What does their track record say? So that's
Yeah.
what I'll say about that. And Random, did you have more to add?
So yeah. So my opinion on the vice president is basically we had 4 years of Trump. And in 4 years, I don't recall. I mean, he 4 years for me, it wasn't a good 4 years, right? 2000. So before 2016, you know, so racism has always been in this country, right? But it seemed like once Trump reared his ugly head into this race, the racism is now it's so amplified that it's not even funny, right? Nowadays, so growing up as a kid to now being 46, I never experienced the country being so divided. And Trump doesn't seem to help the division, I feel, right? So um I had 4 years of them, right? Didn't like the 4 years. I just like for someone who's voting for Trump, they probably like the 4 years, right? But I also don't like this slogan, make America great again. How about make America equal, fair? How about that? Because great again is when. Who are you asking? When was it great?
Right.
Who is that slogan for?
Right.
How about equal? How about fair for everyone? Can
Yeah,
we all eat?
if you're
Because it
looking
seems like the rich are only eating.
right, because you're looking at black people, if you're looking at poorer groups, if you're looking at other marginalized groups, if you're looking at women, non-white women, you can even throw white women in there. To be honest, America has never really been great for those groups. Never.
Correct. Correct. And then also, let's be fair. Trump doesn't want to go to jail again. So, I believe that's why he's really running. I mean, I can't fault the man. If I was in his shoes, I'll be running too because I don't want to go to jail. Because if I become president, then I'm going to pardon myself, all my, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like his agenda is not strong enough, and you can tell because when he has these rallies, I'm sorry, these big stadium, which they're not even big, which it doesn't even matter, stadium of people, and he's talking, right? If you do the math, what is he really talking about? He spends more time bashing the other side instead of coming up with a policy. What is his policy? What is his true policy? Right? And this is the thing that ticks me off about people. They say, the vice president right about now, Kamala, she doesn't speak well. Really? And Trump does? So it's kind of like, what are we saying, guys? But once again, we don't want to get too much, even though it seemed like we spent a lot of times on this on politics. But so that's why I had 4 years, didn't like it. I don't feel like he's running for the right reasons. And that's just why I feel like, with Kamala, we have to give her a chance, right? Trump got a chance, and we saw what he did. So, I mean, hey, that's how I feel. I mean, I
Yeah,
can go on and on with policies too, but
let's not forget, this is the key thing. Trump is responsible for dismantling a key group that was in charge in the United States of seeing pandemics worldwide, seeing what pandemics were coming and what could potentially be a threat to Americans. So, COVID, that's on him. The blood is on his hands.
yeah,
He had the ability to try and fix that situation ahead of time. He knew COVID was happening, and because he dismantled the organizations or the systems that were in place for looking at pandemics and catching things ahead of time to protect the American citizens, because he dismantled that, COVID's on him. So all these lives that were lost in the U.S., it probably wouldn't have been as bad. So that is that. But we don't want to spend the whole show talking about this. We obviously we're answering comments here, and we encourage everybody to leave comments. We just don't want y'all to dominate the conversation when it comes to just political talk. Let's try and diversify the topics that we're talking about. We're going to get into a little bit of political stuff later on, but just circling back, we talked about Young Thug getting out of his sentencing, and you see everybody's making jokes now because Mariah the Scientist, I guess they're dating. And I don't know if they were dating prior to him going to jail, but I know she's canceled some appearances she's had, and everyone's like, oh man, she's going to enjoy her time with Young Thug. I feel kind of bad for her in that situation because you were being very loyal to a guy that was potentially going to spend many years in prison. And
mhm.
I just don't understand the mindset of individuals like that. It's not for me. However,
Mhm.
it's just very interesting that we have people still today. You see Love After Lockup or whatever that show.
Yes.
People will literally be falling in love and trailing behind people who are in jail, who are in prison for horrible crimes. And I just always wanted to tap into the psyche of that person. Why? Why is that appealing to you? Mariah the Scientist, she is an attractive woman. She can get a lot of other guys, but why do you choose this? It's like you're putting yourself in an unnecessary struggle. What do you
Yeah.
thought?
Yeah, no, you're right. Life after lockup, right?
Mm,
The show. This show has multiple seasons, maybe what 15. So it does happen, it does exist, right? These shows are proving it. Um, yeah, because I don't understand it, right? And a lot of times, even when we watch these shows, it never seems to work out, right? The person gets out, and all of a sudden, the person is like, "Oh, we were cool when I was locked up, but now that I'm out, I need to smell the flowers." And it's like, "Well, wait. I have spent 5, 7, 15 years holding you down. As soon as you get out, now you telling me you need space." It's kind of like, so um, yeah, and it's so much drama, right? Especially with these shows, you know, the
yeah,
life after lockout. So listen, I wish them the best, but I guess both sides have to understand that both sides are going to need time. The person that was in jail, they're going to need time, and time meaning to spend with the person that was holding them down and just breathing again. And the person that's been holding them down has to understand that too. But as long as you use your time the right way, we ain't talking about you use your time and go talk to other people and and just be disrespectful. We're not saying that. We're just saying, because it's all a mental thing. Think about it. For a person who think that they're going to be in jail for a long period of time, life or whatever the case may be, and they get out, it's like, wait a minute, it's different now. Similar to the shows that comes on. What's that show? Love is Blind.
mm,
In the pod, they love each other. Whoop, whoop, whoop de doo. Yes, I love you. I want to be with you. As soon as they go home, they're like, this ain't gonna work because reality, real life comes into play.
mhm.
So, um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
That is very true. So, sticking within the music industry, on a lighter note, we got to talk about Chromacopia, the latest album that was dropped by Tyler the Creator. Listen, I have never been a Tyler the Creator fan like that, and I've always said that him eating that roach on Yonkers in the music video always turned me off. I knew he could spit, I knew he had rhymes. However, I just wasn't feeling that. However, I decided to give this a shot, listen to this album
Hmm.
because I saw some buzz surrounding it, and I was thoroughly impressed. I love the fact that the album connected, the album had a theme, and the album sonically, it was really nice and a breath of fresh air to listen to. I'm tired of hearing 808s all the time. I'm tired of hearing club bangers or just party songs. It's nice to hear a concrete album. Yes, people can make songs for the club. Yes, people can make turn up music. Yes, people can make ballads, and those have their place. However, I think that a lot of people have lost the concept of creating an album that has a message, that has a through line, that is really saying something. And that's what I felt I got from this Tyler the Creator album. What about you, Randall?
So sonically, I loved it. Lyrically, I loved it. Right, I loved it. The album was good. Uh, Lyrically, I was amazed. Never heard a Tyler Creator album before. I don't even know what made me really focus on this album, but I was happy that I heard it.
Mm,
The hype was real.
hmm.
Um, the way it flowed from track one all the way to the last track, it was amazing. Um, and it's crazy how it didn't have any club bangers, but it does have commercial bangers. Meaning, I can see these songs on like uh, inside the NBA,
Right,
ESPN, which is more I think broad than the club sometimes. You know,
right,
it did remind me of Mr. Morale because it sounded like he was touching on things that he wasn't touching on before. The pregnancy. Don't even know if it really happened or not. But that was good. They try to kill me. Like everybody stepped their lyrics up.
Yeah,
So
and every few
um
did their thing. Even Sexy Red, I was like, yo, she fit
yeah,
on the song pretty well.
Lil Wayne was even on the album.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
it's kind of crazy how when the album first came out on the Monday, the 28th, it had no features. You had to play it and hear these people. But now I happen to go back to the album yesterday, and all the features are there now. It's funny how it works. If you get it the first day, it's like blink. Same thing with Like That, right? When Future and Metro Boomin came out with that album, I never knew. I heard Like That, but I only heard the first verse and left. And my son was like, "Dad, what you think about that Kendrick verse?" And I'm like, "Kendrick is on the album? Let me go back." And I
Right.
heard it, and I was like, the rest was history. But it's not until like now, or like probably 4 days later, is when they actually said Future and Kendrick. So um it was a good album. I can't wait to hear what Kendrick has to offer. And ASAP Rocky's supposed to come out too. He's not coming out. What happened? He's supposed to come out November 1st.
Well, he
Um,
himself, speaking of trials, he's dealing with the upcoming trial himself over a
yeah,
passing. So he's going
yeah.
to be fine. And I smell. I think we need to. I understand that you have a a you are a Trump supporter. I get it, right? You're a conservative, or I don't know. I'm making an assumption here, but it seems like you're leaning towards Trump. I think that it's best to not make a lot of outlandish statements, such as the artists that went to Diddy parties and freak offs are now supporting Kamala. We don't know that.
And
We
also, I smell. Remember, Trump also got vaccinated. So if you asking us, I bet you got vaccinated. Trump also got vaccinated.
right,
And no, we're not saying you're a sheep at all. But what we're saying is just stay focused on who you want to be the president. And I'm not swaying you. And
yeah,
I'm not going to talk bad about Trump, right? I just know I didn't like it, and I just leave it alone, and I vote for who I want to vote for, and you vote for who you want to vote for.
yeah. I mean, if we really go in there, you're talking about people that support Kamala that are musicians. Let's look at Trump supporters, right? Let's look at Dr. Phil saying that this nation was built off of hard work, not DEI. That's not the case. This
Let's look
nation,
at Epstein.
this
Trump is tied to Epstein.
Trump is tied to Epstein. Let's talk about Tony Hinchcliffe and how he was calling the island of Puerto Rico a, a piece of trash, right? These are people that support Trump, right? So we got to be fair, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, going back to the album, I thought that Childish Gambino did a great job. He's not credited in the songs, but I know he helped Tyler write some stuff. And he also did a great job in the harmonies. I think Hey Jane, I think is he on Hey Jane? I think he's on two songs, but I know he was doing the harmonies on the two songs, and Childish did his thing, okay?
Yeah, Judge Judy. Only I remember
Yep.
Judge Judy, and I forgot the other song.
I think he's on Hey Jane.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's on Hey Jane, the end of Hey Jane.
Baby Keem's on the album too.
Baby Keem's on there. Keem?
Yes. Baby
Where
Keem.
where Keem at?
Keem was on the album. He said one word. That's it. They cracking up at that. Yo, I kid you not. If you go on TikTok, they said people wait for Baby Keem, and all they hear is, yeah. That's it. So, but Baby Keem's on the album too. And I'm
Yeah.
cracking up because the way they did it on TikTok was hilarious. Like people are waiting, they waiting, and it gets silent. He go, yeah. And it's like, what the hell? And then the track changes. But no, he's on the album as well. He's not getting any credit for his yeah.
You know how to keep a dollar though. You know how to keep a dollar because he get
Yeah.
paid for that little year.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Just like who? Childish Gambino. He's getting paid
Oh, but Chad,
for his vocals.
oh, like he actually put in work.
Yeah.
Saying yeah is
No,
not
no, yeah.
as
No,
harmonized.
it was hilarious. It was seriously. If you go back and listen to the album, I think it's Judge Judy. It's one of the songs where it's like it's like an outro, and he just and there's a build up, and then it ends. He go, yeah. You like when I first heard it, I was like, that sounds like Baby King, but whatever. Then I saw like a spoof and I was cracking up. I was like, it was Baby King.
I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah,
Also, another standout, Tizo Touchdown is a very good singer. I
yeah,
was. He reminds me of the '90s though, the way he sings. Him,
correct. Now, what song was he on?
he was on. Man, it literally has his name on the song.
Okay, well, I'll go back. I'll go back
Yeah.
once again. When I first heard it, I didn't, they didn't have any features. And
Which
then I just
song?
stopped looking for the features.
Which song comes after Noid? Do you remember? I'm trying to remember the track listing in my head because
Yeah.
he's sounds in the beginning. He's in the earlier songs.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
another standout too, Dochi. Dochi is my girl. Okay, Dochi can rap her behind off, and she's crazy. And I say that in the most complimentary way possible. I
Yeah.
love her energy. It's very infectious. And she said, she said, "I'm about to air this out like a queef. I'm about to air this this B
Yeah.
word out like a queef." I said, "Bruh,
Yeah. I heard that verse. I was like, wow, okay.
yeah,
Okay. It's different.
yeah, I can't wait for Dochi's official project because her mixtape was fire. So I
Yeah.
can't wait comes out with an album." And so me and your little cousin, my sister Tay, we were debating on our sports show, and y'all make sure to listen today. Our sports show comes out today. AVIOT, we also have a sports show as well. So the sports show should be dropping at 2 o'clock. It's scheduled, so you don't have to worry about me saying it and not showing up. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's all pipeline. But we were talking about albums, and I was saying that's my issue with a lot of artists that came out recently, like Glorilla, like Meg, like JT. Their albums, they have good songs on it, but they get really repetitive and very redundant, and there's no theme. I felt Glorilla tried to do something, and it kind of it was up, but after the song with Kurt Franklin and Maverick City, the album nosedived, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
I think that it was like flowing pretty well. Then it got to that song, and I was like, and I like the song with her and T Pain that came afterwards, but still, I felt it could have been better. Meg, to me, you know how I feel about Meg. I think she's a talented artist. The problem is she's very repetitive in her subject matter, and her albums always sound the same.
And it's too long.
Yeah, and they always
She
sound
had
the
like a double album, right?
yeah. It's like I got haters. My body look good. I can get any man that I want. That's pretty much it. Where is the subject matter outside of that?
Yeah.
Where
She's not rapping about anything.
yeah, you're not like on his on he had some songs she was talking about depression and everything like that. That was different. I like that. That was different on Megan. That was different. That was a change. And the thing is, I've listened to Meg albums. I've listened to Tina Snow. I've listened to Fever. I've listened to Good News. So I've listened to her music, and everything is the same. It's very redundant. And I was saying to my sister after the show, I said, because she was like, "Well, people like Glorilla and Meg, they have a place." And Lotto, I still have to listen to Lotto's album, but they have a place. And I said,
Mhm.
yes. However, though they are good, though they are good or decent rappers, the person that's within that kind of space of being the twerker or the turn up girl that actually has the best album, in my opinion, within the past decade is Cardi B. I thought Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy was a solid album.
I
It was
must admit.
it was a solid
Yes.
album because
Yeah.
he covered various topics. There was a central theme within the project, and she wasn't redundant. And I think that's why she's not coming out with an album now because how can you top that?
That is true because she just come out with singles and leave. You're right. You're right because she had to come out with an album ever since when? Like, when's that last album?
I think that was 2018, Invasion of Privacy.
Oh my gosh, we're in 24, about to be 25 now. Come on.
Yeah, but in
But
terms
she
of
stayed relevant.
yeah, she does stay relevant by putting out the singles and hopping on people's tracks, which is good. My thing is though, that is a complete album. If we're talking about female rappers in general, there are tons. Dochi, her mixtape slash album was fire, and I keep trying to put people on to Rhapsody. She has an album now called I think like "Don't Cry" or something. I always get the name wrong, but the album cover is yellow, And her last album that she was nominated for a Grammy for was also good too. But Rhapsody could spit. Rhapsody's album, her recent project that she put out was very good. The concept, I got it. It flowed. It was great, right? But she's in a different lane. She's not in the turn up, pop your behind lane, right?
Yeah.
Though she did say in the album, she said a line saying, she's like, I've seen so much popping of your behind. It's like it's so redundant. It's like you see it everywhere now. I remember she was complaining about it. I gotta look into that line and actually do a video on that. But
Yeah.
she did speak on it. She did speak on it. She's like, yo, it's everywhere now. And I think that we have an oversaturation of one type of female hip hop artist, and we're not seeing, or the promotion of other types of female hip hop artists is not as great. That's why I'm happy to see a Dochi. I know you don't like Dochi's twerking all the time, but I'm like, I like the fact that she's multifaceted. She can twerk, but she can also spit. She can do the boom bat. She can talk about a bevy of topics and not be redundant. That's what I
Yeah.
want from artists. Even if you are a twerker, Lil Kim, for example, Lil Kim, I guess she could spit, but I guess she would fall in the lane of the sexually liberated, that kind of person. But
Yeah.
even in her lyrics, it was she could be more. She is more multifaceted. It wasn't the same da 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 every time. That's just
Yeah.
my sorry.
No, 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 no. You're right. You're right. You're right. I think, and that's the problem. I think recently, Meg albums are too long, and after the fourth song, you know it's about. Now, granted, I do like that song when she's rapping on it. It's like a guitar, and is an 808 beat. It go dun 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 dun. It's I mean, only heard it like 3 times, but I
That,
do like it.
that bigger than
Huh?
Texas. That the bigger than Texas song.
I don't know, but it's tough. She rode that beat very well.
But SZA, listen, I smell SZA's a singer though. SZA's not a rapper, so she's
Yeah.
in a different category. So we can't really put
If you
SZA.
want to say someone that owns it all, I would have to say, was it Doja Cat?
Oh,
Am I saying
Doja.
her name?
How much I can't stand Doja Cat. She can spit. She,
Yeah, and her albums be on point. I gotta admit.
yeah, I
Gotta
didn't
admit.
give her
So
spins. I refuse to give Doja Cat any spins after she had negative comments about black folk. Her
mhm.
being black herself, I didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're just throwing out someone that can
no,
sing and rap. Yeah.
those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give her credit where credit's due. I just don't like her.
Yeah. Well, hey, that sometimes that's a lot of these artists nowadays. You give them credit, we be like, I just don't want to rock with you, but here you go. You get your clap. You're great. Now I don't I don't listen to your music anymore.
Right.
But yeah, but no, so yeah, I think with Meg, she has to find a way to be not so in the box because she's
I don't think she will venture out of it because her fans are going to support her no matter what.
that is true.
Yeah,
Well, not album sales. They support her on her commercials and whatever she's promoting. But
that's
album sales, they seem not to help her.
exactly,
You know?
exactly. Because it's like, Meg, do you want to go down in history? I know I'm always hard on her, but I think that she's very talented. Do you want
Yeah,
to go down in history though as just being the woman that just put out bops that you can shake your behind to every once in a while, or do you want to be legendary? Like, do you
yeah,
want to? My thing is, she hasn't put out a good album yet. She's put out average, below average projects. She hasn't put out a good album yet.
yeah. I never
And
even heard half of her music, but I tell you, I listened to the last album once again. It was just too long. Like the first album was 13 tracks.
no, no,
The
I smell.
second,
No, no, no. We're gonna have to stop. We're gonna have to ban you from this right here. Nah, man. We're not doing that free Tory stuff. No.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tory Lanes.
It's so funny. I'm watching that. So I'm watching that Tory thing right now. Hilarious too. I mean, not the Tory, the Meg thing right now.
Oh,
Hilarious.
what's hilarious about it?
I, I personally think it's a woe is me, you know, in a division because words are powerful. So it seems like she's dividing men versus. She's putting a line between men versus women. Like when she said, "I'm not going to let a guy do this to me," instead of saying, "I'm not going to let them," because it's not just Tory. It's Tory. It's her best friend, which is a female. It's the media, which is it could be every type. But it's you know what I'm saying. She seems to divide. So it's kind of like okay, I see where this is going. I think words are powerful. We don't need this. Like even her song where she don't let these men do it to you. You do it to them. It's like okay, guys, we get it. Like we already got division going on.
And that's
So
another this generation of female rappers that I don't like. It's like get back at the men. If he cheat on me, I'm gonna do him worse. Like Ice Spice said, right? I don't agree with that mentality. It just creates a bigger toxic cycle. Why?
yes,
And I'm not condoning any behaviors of any of these men that do these women wrong. By
by
the way,
far, but they shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be doing it because
it should
every action is a reaction. But still,
right.
we're not trying to say two wrongs. Two wrongs don't make it right. Right.
They, so why don't if a man cheat on you, leave him and never give him another chance again?
That's
Why
how you get back at them.
like people talk about Sierra's prayer, for example, right? And we know that people change, but you went into a situation with Future knowing that he had other children by other women that he wasn't taking care of, and you thought that you were going to be different. That's another thing
I
too.
think a lot of people do feel like, and I'm not just saying women, men do too.
Yeah,
We all feel like, yeah, I could change this person. In
right,
reality, you can't. The person has to want to be changed. The person,
right.
you know, that's the key. The person has to want to be changed. The same thing with the addict, right? We
Mhm.
can't come in saying, I'm gonna change this person. No, the addict has to say I have a problem. Until they say I have a problem, you can invest with all the time you want into somebody, something, until that person comes out and be like, yeah, I gotta do this for me. That's when it's sorry, I was looking at something. That's when it's gonna work. So I
Right.
think with that, with her or with anyone in general that's in a relationship, like, oh, I'm gonna tame this, I'm gonna change this. Not that person don't want it. You
Correct.
can be the best person, you can be the best person for that person, but until they realize you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm really a big proponent of really you got to pick, you got to choose the right partners. I understand people change, some people are chameleons. However, if you see certain red flags are there, do not ignore those red flags.
Yeah. And it's
Don't
hard, right? We all understand the heart wants what the heart wants,
right.
but sometimes you have to say, you know, I think it goes back to, you just have to love yourself. I feel like if you love yourself, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes that doesn't even work, right? We're human, right? But I feel like sometimes if you love yourself and know what you're not going to tolerate, you have to stay true to that. And I know
Yes.
it's easier said as done, and we're not going to harp and beat up on anybody who falls victim because you know, I'm not perfect. I'm pretty sure I felt victim. Somebody probably called me up like, Jay, you did something. I'm like, huh, yeah, you're right. So that's why I'll never point the
Yeah.
finger. But at the end of the day, but you never ever heard me complain either. A lot of people
Oh yeah,
get
yeah.
dealt wrong and then complain about it. Like, what you
Yeah.
complaining for if you ain't gonna change it?
Exactly. And if you look at Meg's dating pattern, she wasn't dating great men. She
Yeah,
wasn't. So you can't be like, we're not gonna let these men. These were men you were choosing, and you knew they weren't good. You
yeah.
knew,
She even said on one thing, I knew this man was community D or something like that. It's like you knew it and
and
you
you
still
exactly. So
don't
I think
complain.
we take accountability for our actions. Everybody,
Yeah.
we have to take accountability.
Everybody, yeah.
That's what it is. I don't mean to be preachy. I'm
No,
just
we're not gonna be preachy because listen,
right.
at the end of the day, people gonna do what they want to do, but I don't want to hear you complaining. That's all I'm saying. I don't
Yeah,
think any of us want to hear you complaining.
exactly.
Figure it out.
Just stick to the music right quick because we got caught up in so many tangents. I still got other things I want to just cover right quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of people doing what they want to do, it seems that Fat Joe's going to continue using the N word. And I don't know if you saw him. He was in a he was in a meeting or he was speaking with somebody at an event, and he was saying that Puerto Ricans. He was saying that Puerto Ricans that want to vote for Trump, they are house N words.
Mhm.
And my thing is, Fat Joe, do you claim blackness? Do you claim yourself? Are you black? Are you claiming
Wait,
that you're
wait, wait, wait. I think you missed. I think you missed something, and I'm not condoning the N word. Did he say Puerto Ricans that vote for Trump are house ends?
yes,
He said Puerto Ricans, right?
yes,
So clearly, he thinks that word is for everyone. It shouldn't be for anybody. But clearly, he's not talking about us. He's talking about the Puerto Ricans.
correct.
But the problem with that is he would Puerto Ricans and him, they would fix their lips, then to turn around and call us that. So I understand where you're going with. Like, just don't use the word. Just say Puerto Ricans that's voting for Trump, they need to get a reality check. Leave it like that. You
Puerto
don't have to
Rican,
put the N word in there.
I know Puerto Ricans got a word for sellouts in their own culture. Why don't you use that word?
So true. But once again, I believe he believes that that word is for everyone, and it's not. It's not even
Yeah.
for us. Not even for us, because I don't want you to then turn around and flip it on me.
Well, listen, how I look at it is I'm not a fan of the N word, but if black people want to use it, that's their prerogative. They took
Yeah,
that word just like women took the B word and they use it. I ain't gonna call women no B word, but they want to say I'm a bad B. That's for them to use, right? I don't condone.
facts,
However, if they want to do it, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
facts. Yeah,
So, Fat Joe, you're not black. You don't claim to be black. Stop using the word. And that black guy that was interviewing him, he should have checked him. Like people need to start checking this dude.
yeah, yeah. They need to. They need to. And that's the problem with a lot of these um interviewers, right? They can't for some reason they seem to just laugh and chuckle, you know, when we know you're uncomfortable with that laughter that you're doing, but you're not saying anything, and then you're surprised when the word or the energies turn on you, and you're like, well, I'm a victim. No, no, the victim happened when that person said what they said, and you laughed it off. Because people got to understand. I think a lot of times we are people, right? We like to, like a kid, like anyone. We like to test the water, put our, see what I can, what I can't say.
Mhm.
So we just say outlandish stuff sometimes. And if we get away with it, we're like, oh, this is that type of party? Shit, gloves are off now. Let's get it. It's
Right,
like, no, no, no. We're not gonna use that word on the show. If you use that word, I recommend you don't, but we're not gonna use that word on the show. So how about you say Puerto Ricans that vote for Trump need to get a reality check? That's a professional way. Because
right.
we're not gonna use that word because that word is uncomfortable. I feel. You know, I as a grown man don't even use that word. I use the different word. What I mean by that is I call people, like, bro, dude, that's it. That's it. I'm not using that word. Um,
So, Mike Bizzle for Shizzle. We stopped I Smell from saying comments because he said free Tory, right? We see that Tory Lanez, he was found guilty of harming Meg the Stallion, Megan Pete, her government name, and that is what it is. We're not challenging that, and I'm not going to support anybody. Listen, I'm taking up for Meg in this regard. I'm not going to allow anybody to be supporting Tory Lanez, who acted like a fool during his whole trial. How he acted was terrible. How he acted was not how a man should act. If you truly felt you were innocent, you shouldn't have acted that way. You shouldn't have been out here making albums, pretty much trying to sneak this Meg and say that you were innocent. No, you should have been in her corner and been like, "Hey, listen, I don't remember that event's happening. I apologize, and I just want you to get better." How he acted was horrible. He did not.
yeah,
He did not act good at all. These Tory fans have been harassing Meg forever, and I'm not going to play into that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. You talk about Cardi B openly admitting to drugging men and robbing them. We haven't been bigging up Cardi B. We said she put together a complete album. How
yeah.
is
That's
that
what we're
bigging
talking about. We're talking about an album. We
We're
you
talking
know,
about an
we yeah. Yeah, that's as far as we were talking about album. We're not even touching people characters. Like we didn't touch
album.
Gorilla character. We didn't touch Meg. We didn't touch Dochi character. Like we're
Well,
just talking about albums.
we did
We
with
did?
Megan and what's the name, and Doja Cat. We did with Megan and Doja Cat a little
Okay.
bit,
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay. That's
You
sad. I
disagree?
don't really recall though.
You
But
disagree?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no,
you
no, no.
disagree.
See, I don't recall like, like as far as like we're not so when it's all said and done, right?
Uh huh.
I feel like this. When it comes to Tory, right? Especially with this, the whole scenario. If Tory knew who did it, so let's play devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
If Tory know who did it, right? There was three people. It was Meg, her best friend, and Tory.
Mm-hmm.
If Tory know who did it and never said anything, then he has to take the fall because he's taking the fall, right?
Correct.
And if we're going to say, okay, at the end of this day, we weren't there. But guess what? We got three people, right? Two are talking. That's Meg and that's Tori. No, three, matter of fact, and the best friend. And everybody is, the best friend is not saying, I did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tori's not saying, I did it, but Meg is the one that got shot. So somebody did it, right?
Correct.
And everything is pointing towards Tori. So if Tori knew he didn't do it, then somehow, some way, who did it then? There's only three people. We know Meg didn't shoot herself in the foot.
Correct.
So that's why I feel like, and the case is over with. He can
Yeah.
appeal it, and if he appeals, and wins the appeal, then we will bring it up again as far as how it plays out. But as of now, Tory's guilty.
Yeah.
And if Tory wanted to not tell who did it, then he's guilty.
That's
Because
all.
I know I'm raising my hand, like, listen, I didn't do it. You investigate this person. He's not saying any of that.
Right.
He's not even saying that now.
Right. Right. And I'm not
And
even
you're
going
right.
to.
There's a lot of holes in the case. You're right. You're definitely right. Because, I mean, holes in the case as far as, there's a lot of things that happen, a lot of lies that happen. That doesn't look too right when it was all said and done. She
Yeah,
has fragments in her foot.
she does. And I'm not going to sit here acting holier than thou because when the story first came out, I remember me, you, and Koya, who was on the podcast, we didn't take it seriously. We
No,
didn't
we didn't take it serious. I
take it
didn't take
seriously.
it serious.
Yeah, we were over here laughing, like seriously. We were over here laughing, like, really? We did not take it seriously. But as the case went on and you saw how it impacted Meg and you saw how many parties were impacted, how many parties were affected, we had to be like, okay, wait a second, wait a second. This is more serious than we thought.
So listen, and also last thing you said, and then let's just kind of like end the show because we've been on for a while. You're
Okay.
right. I don't know about being premature, right, to block anybody, but at the end of the day, how does this work as two hosts, right? We can warn you, don't say anything, but we don't have time to warn people either, because there's other things that plays in this show for us to be like, hey, don't do that again, or we're going to block you. But it's kind of like we let people know on this show, listen, we're here to converse with the listeners, anyone else that wants to talk. But, it's other stuff that if you look at the comments, somebody was talking about bleaching, we ignore a lot of stuff. All right.
Correct.
But that person came in, said bleach, whatever, and then left. So, I mean, hey, listen, the dialogue has to work both ways with you guys and us. So, we do this for you guys. Come on, let's just talk.
Right.
Let's just be, and the free Tory is it's not worth it. What are we freeing him for? He hasn't even has he appealed? Like what are we freeing him for? We can't just be freeing people that's found guilty, and he had his day in court.
He did. He did. And Danny, we are cousins. We're first cousins.
Yes.
Yes, I know we look like
Yeah.
everyone says we
Sorry
look
for
like.
the gray, but yeah.
Yes, everyone always says it. I just wanted to. I know you said you wanted to end it just real quick, real quick.
Mhm.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the Puerto Ricans now saying they're against Trump because of Tony Hinchcliffe's comments during the rally in Madison Square Garden.
Um, I'm happy for them. I'm happy to see that they love their country and uh, you know, it they're not and that they're not sheep, right? Because nowadays it seems like it's nothing that he, meaning Trump, or the people that's the speakers can say to sway people. And that's mind boggling, right? But, we'll see. Because a lot of people say a lot of things until they get in that booth. I'm telling you, when you and I, we voted for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a different atmosphere when you're in that voting booth, right? I feel. And also, you know, you for a lot of people, man, I don't believe it until I see it. There's a lot of people that said they're not voting for Trump in 2016 voted for Hillary and Hillary lost. So there's a lot of people saying they voting for, Kamala. We'll see what happens. Only thing I can tell everyone is go out and vote. You already know who I'm voting for. That's only because we had dialogue with the listeners. But go out and vote. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. It's November 5th. We have our show November 6th. We'll
Ah,
see who wins.
something.
We have our podcast on the 6th. So the day
Yes.
after.
Yeah.
Please come check out the show.
And
If
Mike
your person wins, you'll know.
and Mikey Bizzle for Shizzle. Yeah, I was never cool with people saying free thug. My thing is he was a danger to society, and I was never cool with that.
Yeah, yo, listen,
I was never
never.
no.
Never. No free thug, no free Wheezy when he was in listen, if you in jail, man, believe me. Listen, you're rich, right? So what I mean by that is these guys got the best lawyers, right? They can't walk around black or white and think that you're untouchable, right? So
Right.
free them for what?
Right.
Doug did something. Doug lyrics pointed to the fact that he did illegal activity. You do the crime, you got to do the time. So when I say obsessive probation, that's probably the wrong word I used when I said that earlier during the show. But uh, I I'm curious to see how it's going to work with that long period because you could be 14 years and 364 days. And that, you know what I'm saying? Before, and if you mess up on that 64 day, you got to do the back. And the back is 20 years. So,
Yes.
hopefully he's disciplined and understand that he has been given a second chance. Yes, you can't go back to Atlanta, but it's okay. You did a lot of your, allegedly did a lot of your crime in Atlanta. You don't need to go back to Atlanta.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's
go
like
somewhere else. Just live your life, make music, you know, uh, and hopefully, you understand that, you were definitely given a second chance. Don't
right.
squander.
So ending the show, random. What's brewing for you this week?
Um, it's broke for me this week. Basically, since I already did it early voting, what's broke for me this week is just really just watching it on Tuesday. I personally do not want to watch it. I personally am over it. I did my part, which was going out and vote. But I mean, I feel like if we got we got a show on Wednesday, right? So I don't want you surprising me on Wednesday. I know you're not going to keep it to yourself, regardless who wins or not. I don't want to block you, so I might as well just turn on the TV and just watch it. That's what's brewing for me. Huh?
Don't block your dear old cousin. Don't do
No,
that.
I'm not going to block you. I'm going to be a man and watch what's going on.
Uh,
Besides that, yeah, I'm hoping that whoever wins is peaceful.
mm, I
So what's
see.
brewing for me is I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Okay. All right.
And it's kind of nerve wracking, but we will see. So that's what's brewing for me, just observing what happens on the 6th when we do our show. How you and I are looking. Are we looking tired? Are we looking like, yo, what just happened here? Word, this would happen again? Or, oh man, I'm waiting for the 6th, man. So that's what's brewing for me. What's brewing for you?
What's brewing for me is same old with getting content out for our platform. So for those of you who don't know, the AVIOT podcast. So this show right here is a part of the AVIOT podcast, which we encourage you all to check out on streaming services. The parent company for this is Chemistry Productions, K3MISTRY Productions, and I'll be working on content, putting it out for there. My wife has been big on saying to be consistent, to stop taking gaps in creating content and putting it out, because this is a media education company after all. So yes, we create media, we critique media, but we also have to be consistent in putting out media as well. I see you're laughing.
Oh, yeah. I'm only laughing because I want to answer two things. So I'm in North Carolina. We don't have any curtains. It's not even a booth. It's literally a you're right. People can't see, but they're taller than me. They can see what I'm doing. Right. No, no, seriously. Like we don't have curtains. Yes, I don't even think in Connecticut we had taller cubes when we went to go. Like a cubic, a cube that we walked in and we voted. Right. This one, the cubes are smaller. Like you can literally walk by and see who the heck is voting for who. So no, we don't have any curtains, so people can't see.
Mm.
And um, Mikey, hey, listen, I'm happy you voting for Trump. Vote for who you believe. This is one thing Jay Stokes and I would never ever do. We would never ever try to sway anybody. You
Nope.
know, People are voting for who they want to because of how they feel. And only I can tell everyone who's live right now and listen to the show later on, just go out and vote. That is your given right. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. And that's all Jay Stokes and I will ever said. We ain't never trying to sway anybody.
I'm still gonna
That's
look.
not my job.
I'm still gonna look at you sideways though.
But that's not my job. You know what I'm saying? That's not my job to vote. I mean, to sway anybody. And energy policy. Let's see, what is he talking about? The tariffs. So this shoot. Well, the show's over. The show's over now. But Mikey, pay attention. Read into tariffs. The way it works is tariffs, they do get charged on, say, China, right? Let's start China. So China selling a shirt for $15. So now they get hit with a certain percentage of a tariff, right? So now who do you think is going to pay for that extra that China is now charged with? The consumers. So at the end of the day, we always get penalized for whatever happens. That's just how it works. When gas goes up, who pays for that? We do, right? It's not it's not the billionaires who's raising up the prices. We, the people that's pumping the gas, we have to pay for it. Why? Because the people that's buying the gas, Shells, BP, they're buying the gas. They funnel that extra cost that they got to pay for back to us because they're not going to eat that. So always remember that tariff sounds great, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why. Let's go back to electric, right? There's a reason why BYD, one of the better EV cars, right, better than Tesla,
Hmm.
to never ever come here because they're getting hit with 100% tariffs. So if they're getting hit with 100% tariffs, who do you think is going to pay for that 100% tariffs? We are the consumers. So they won't. So that $19,000 car that they sell in China and over in Europe, it's not going to be 19,000 here, right? It's going to be probably 25, 30,000. So what what's the profit? So always understand tariffs sound good until your groceries go up, into that watch you like, that washing machine. It sounds good to, yeah, tariffs sound great until we have to pay for it. So once again, I don't want to keep going on. We could be here for days. Sorry, but hey,
And
once again, this is good dialogue, Mikey. I appreciate it.
yeah,
But once again, go
it's,
out and vote for whoever you want to vote for.
it's better than the I whatever guy. Yeah, at least you're not over here saying nonsense.
Yeah,
But
exactly, Mikey. Yeah, you're definitely being well. You're definitely being respective. I mean, not respective. What word I'm looking for? Sorry about that. You're definitely being cordial in your back and forth with us. So we like
correct.
stuff like that. You know.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah,
So
so hey, listen, yo, we do this show every Sunday between the hours of 9 and 10 a.m. So on Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to come back, and we encourage you to come back every week. We can have dialogue. We can discuss. Me and Random have a set agenda on what we talk about, but we can always break to read the comments and have that conversation with you all. So we appreciate this. Definitely check out our podcast. I am smell. This is my burner. Okay. All right. Cool.
what's
Cool.
up, I am smell? You got the burner.
That's
Oh,
that.
I like
Oh,
that. There you go.
okay.
See, but look, I am smell. You see how you change your tone? If this is I am smell, you change your tone, right? I like it.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, so definitely come back, check out our podcast, check out our Chemistry Productions platform. Feel free to engage. We make content based off of people's comments. We make content based off of media that's out there. So we appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.